Alright guys, hey what's up? C4 Born here, and I'm finally meeting the man for the first time in real life.
How's it going, man?
Pretty good. And also, what's your name?
I'm DOA, Eric DOAAAAAA, I guess you could say.
Alright, so here's the big surprise.
Okay.
Do you remember casting the HSL about a year ago?
I do indeed. Oh, that was you.
That was me, that's me.
Okay, all right. Maybe it was a voice I recognized.
Yeah, it was part of the voice you recognize.
I see,
Alright,
okay.
So actually, before that, I mean, a year ago, when you started, casting when you casted the finals of HSL, which by the way is a high school star league, which you guys should probably check out, especially if you're a high school student. Now, before that, you didn't even go into into Korea yet, right? That was before Korea. That was before the GSL.
That was, I think it was between. I think that was like after my first stint in the GSL, but before I went back, if I remember right. Yeah, I think that's when it was. Yeah.
Okay. Because honestly, that was like, I mean, that's been like a whole year now, actually. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been like a whole year, but a lot has actually gone on for you, huh?
Oh yeah.
You've gone to a lot of places. Because I remember first, originally you were from like the Midwest.
Yeah, from Minnesota. Yep.
Minnesota. And then I remember reading your Reddit posts about selling stuff, like all your old games and everything, your old
right,
systems.
yep.
And like I don't know, to me, I could imagine that was kind of like starting off like a whole new life or something.
Kind of,
like,
yeah.
Boom, okay, like this is all my old stuff. I really miss it. It means a lot to me. But now I'm gonna be going to Korea for the GSL, and then you're just moving on. That's pretty much how it was, right?
Yeah, I mean it was tough because obviously that's like my roots. I love playing those games on the old Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and all that.
Yeah.
And I believe. No, actually I didn't. But the way I saw it, I was like, I don't have time to play this stuff now. I can't like be carting this stuff around with me all the time. So I have to do this now. And if I get the opportunity later on, I can always like rebuy it from somewhere else, right? And there's always emulators, right? So you can still play the games if you want to, but nothing touches the original, though. I mean, it's a different feeling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, see, I've always wondered, because I actually got the chance to co-cast with you, which, by the way, you're an amazing co-caster. You're so smooth, so fluent, and ever so handsome, too. That's also very important. Okay, so now back to the roots, though. I mean, like, how did you first get into StarCraft? Or did you have a background in Brood War?
I played it a lot with my friends. I mean, I played Warcraft 2, actually, Command and Conquer, Red Alert, like the original back in like the 90s and all that. And then when StarCraft came out, I played that basically in CAI because I actually didn't have internet access until I was in college. So I played it just against the computer, against my brother, and then when I got to college, I played against my friends there. But I never really knew that there was this like big pro scene out there because I never really had access to it. So I was really into the game, and into RTS and like into competitive gaming, but only among my friends. If I would have known like this all existed beforehand, then the story might be a little bit different. But it was really exciting, to get into the StarCraft 2 beta, find Team Liquid, and be able to kind of go from there. So that's kind of how it started, really.
I actually have a similar story to that because I also got into kind of late, but like I used to play Brood War like against a computer, but they would last for about like 4 days, and then eventually I would give up because the map was too big. Now, for you though, do you remember like which year you got into Brood War?
I believe, the Brood War expansion came out, what was that, 2000, I think? I think StarCraft came out in 98 and the Brood War was in 2000, so I mean, 98 I guess is when I started playing. I started playing it right when it came out because I was a big Warcraft 2 fan. I mean, Tides of Blood and all that. I like still wish there was a way they could work like ships into StarCraft, but that just doesn't really work, There's no water combat, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, basically for me, I started off in Brood War. I mean, I got the game right when it came out too, but I just kept on playing computers. I never thought about it seriously and competitively. And then when I found out about the Korean scene, I was like, dude, man, that's really awesome. Maybe I can go pro. And the closest to pro I ever got was C- in IC Cup, but good enough, right?
Respectable from what I've heard.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good. Yeah, a lot of really good players. And like B+ or higher, like those guys are really, really good. Like Suppy,
yeah, of course,
he was B+, and he did really, really well at Anaheim.
Yeah.
All right, so by the way, look at this event so far. What do you think is like the biggest difference between like LANs, like MLG Anaheim, stuff like that, MLGs, obviously size is a big thing, but
maybe
idea. Yeah, maybe. And I don't know. Maybe talk about the environment, like maybe some things that people don't know about the casting environment.
Well, this event actually is really a lot of fun because I get to chill out a little bit more. I mean, we cast one set and then we're done for a while with like with IPLs and like the GSL and stuff. You're just going, nonstop. And this tournament's been a lot of fun because I've been able to kind of actually get to know the players on my team a little bit better. Maybe coach them a little bit, get to watch their games, from behind them, give them pointers, stuff like that. It's been a lot of fun. But that's kind of the biggest difference, I guess, between some of the other events. I haven't casted an actual offline MLG event. I've been to some, it's awesome. I love it there. But with IPL, I know I was just like going nonstop. I mean, that's just kind of how it is there. And it's fun. But man, after like a weekend like that, you're just like dead to the world for a couple days. Yeah. It's pretty tiring. But this event it's been very chill. It's been very nice and relaxing. I've enjoyed it a lot.
All right, so before this, before you became a caster for StarCraft, what were you doing instead?
I was working advanced tech support at Verizon Wireless. That's what I was doing before I got into casting.
That job was probably a lot of fun, right?
It was, honestly, it wasn't that bad because I mean, I like technology and stuff like that, and it was kind of fun for me to like, figure out what the problem was and like go into the computer systems and fix it. So I don't know, I'm weird. I actually like enjoyed it, and I like people a lot too. So it was fun meeting people from like all over the country and stuff like that. Even though, I mean, they might be a little bit upset when they call in, right? But then by the end of the call, we're buddies and it's all good, and I fixed their phone and it's awesome. So. Yeah, it wasn't so bad, but I mean I kind of got into casting on accident, really. I mean, I just started doing it as a hobby for fun because I had a little bit of a background in a little bit of radio in high school, and then I worked on a college hockey broadcast in college for a long time, not as a commentator, but just being involved in the broadcast. So I had that kind of background, and I thought it'd be fun. I knew I didn't have enough time to like play to get good enough to be competitive, but I wanted to contribute to the community somehow, So I thought I'll just do this, see how long it lasts. If people don't like it, whatever, I'll just like go back to being a spectator. But I guess people liked it. It went okay.
So I mean, like honestly, looking back, like maybe like 2 years ago, you would have never ever expected a career in this. Would you?
No, I definitely.
So it's like a dream come true.
It is. I mean, I always wanted to work in video games, but I always thought it would be more from an art perspective.
Yeah.
Because one of my majors is studio art, like drawing and painting, and I worked a lot, like going towards comic book art and things. So I always thought if I was going to get a job in the video game industry, it'd be from like an art perspective. But I'm just happy to be involved, any way I can. And this is, I don't know, this is even better than I think that would be. Because with that, you're at a desk. I do like drawing, but you're at a desk all day. You don't get to like meet as many people. But with this, I get to be like out. I get to talk a lot because I do enjoy talking.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I love the competitive aspect too. I mean, like right from the beginning, I was always really competitive in video games. We never really had like consoles and stuff when I was growing up. We had to like buy them ourselves, and it was tough to save up for that when you're a kid and all that. So the way I would get to play console video games when I was a kid is I would challenge my friends. I'd be like, hey man, I can beat you in Mario Kart, no problem.
Oh, yeah.
And they'd be like, no you can't, and I've like never played this game before in my life, but then I get to go to their house and play their video games, and I'd usually beat them too. So, but that's like how I got to play games, right? So I guess like the competitive nature is in my blood. I wish I was like good enough at StarCraft 2 to compete. Maybe someday, who knows? But I don't know. I'm happy with where I'm at too.
That's actually really similar to my story about how I got into StarCraft, because I got into StarCraft about 2008. And then I got my best friend into StarCraft because we were both tennis team captains.
Cool.
But because we're best friends, we're also probably, we're really huge rivals.
Right.
And so I always beat him over and over again, and he was about to give up. And then finally, he looked up some kind of YouTube about, he looked up on YouTube for some kind of video, and it was a proxy DT rush. And that's the first time he beat me, and I was pretty upset. But then after that, we had, that was our biggest competition going on, and that's what kept us going on all the way to 2010 until StarCraft 2 came out. So yeah, that's my personal story. Also, here is a really important question. This is so important.
Okay.
Korean food or American food?
Korean food.
It's that much better?
It really is. I mean, the thing is, I feel like it's hard to say American food because it's such a huge variety, because of the country we live in. But I really, really like Korean food. Like, I don't think I've ever had a Korean dish that I haven't liked, I mean, I've even like learned to cook some Korean food just so I can keep eating it, being back here.
Good.
It is. It's really good.
You should check out Dime Bar. It's actually right next to it.
Okay.
Okay, I seriously, I'm from Dime Bar, and I went to Dime Bar High School. Like, the population alone is like 60% Korean.
Okay.
So you could probably find some Korean food. There's this place called Spicy Kimchi, which is really good. You should check that place out. It's pretty good. All right, and also, you are married, right?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Yep.
And do you have kids?
I do not, no.
Oh, you don't? Okay, never mind. That sucks, because you have to get them in StarCraft once you do have
Someday,
kids. And then
yes.
they're gonna be pro players and everything.
They won't have a choice. I'll be like, you're playing this.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then they're gonna have to make a Grandmaster, and if they don't, they get kicked out, because that's what's gonna happen.
Pretty much. It'll be harsh. It'll be harsh, but education.
Discipline.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also, do you have any last shout-outs or anything?
Well, I mean, shout out to my team. It's Gosu, you know. I mean, shout out to all our sponsors. I guess I have a NOS in my hand, so shout out to them. Max Integration, Razer, and Own3D. And I think if there's any more, I'm sorry. I forgot. Yeah, well, I was thinking team sponsors, but yeah, also the IGN Pro League. Absolutely, that's where I do my casting for the most part now. So definitely watch that. IGN Pro League. And I guess, I don't know, shout out to all the great players out there that bring us awesome games and all the fans that watch. Yeah.
Okay, you have any interesting talents aside from, being extremely good looking and, being good at commentating?
I was a pretty decent skateboarder in high school, I don't know.
Oh, okay. I actually would have never seen that in you.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. I skated a lot.
Okay, dude, they're pretty mean back at. Okay, I go to CSOB, which is Cal State University Long Beach, and they don't even want people even longboarding, and it's a $250 ticket for longboarding. I'm not even joking. That's even more than
that's too much.
Yeah, that's insane.
Bad. It's any ticket is too much.
Pretty much. All right. Well, this has been a lot of fun. It's been a really humbling experience too, because and the way I see you is kind of like a person that popped out of the spotlight out of nowhere and just constantly continue to advance and just continue to pursue his dreams. Going to Korea, I mean that's pretty tough, right? Being in an environment a very foreign environment, not being able to know the language or anything. Yeah, actually, I'm interested in that. What are the challenges of going to Korea? Honestly, people see GSL commentators, but they don't really know what's the challenges behind all that.
Oh, well, I mean, there always is a little bit of a challenge, going to a new country and all that. I mean, there's a language barrier, but honestly, Korea is the easiest country for anyone to go and live in, because most of the signs are in English. Korean's really easy to read once you learn to read Korean. And I mean, as long as you're willing to take the time to learn a little bit of the language, it's so easy to get around, and everybody's so nice. So yeah, I mean, Korea's probably the easiest country I could have gone to get a good first experience living in another country.
Okay. Also, I remember when we were co-casting in HSL, you said Leenock was your most favorite player. Is he still your most favorite player?
It's tough. I mean, as a commentator, you're seeing all this great new play from so many different players that I feel like my favorites change every week. So I don't think I'd call Leenock my favorite player anymore, but still definitely one of my favorites. Yeah.
Okay. And now that you do know a lot about StarCraft, do you think StarCraft 2 is balanced?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I think it's pretty balanced right now. I think a lot of the things, and I mean, pros have proven this to us over the history of StarCraft 2 so far, that a lot of things that were originally seen as an imbalance were just the other race not knowing how to play, right?
Yeah,
so anything that looks like an imbalance, I mean, you just have to work it out most of the times. I mean, and if it genuinely is imbalanced, I feel like it'll be very, very obvious, When it's kind of people are oh, this seems a little bit too strong, then it's probably just something that the other race needs to figure out, I mean, StarCraft 2, the races are going to be trying to one-up each other in terms of build orders and things like that. There's always going to be something new to do. And so, yeah, I think there's very, very little imbalance in StarCraft 2, and people whine about it too much at the end.
Have you seen Heart of the Storm yet?
I haven't had a chance to play it yet, no.
Were you at Anaheim?
I was not, unfortunately, no.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't see you around. Okay, well, yeah, I mean, Heart of the Storm has a lot of interesting news. That Viper, man. That Viper is scary, because I play Terran. Do you still play Terran, or are you still random? Or?
I play kind of everything, but actually I'm playing more Zerg now than anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I heard something about that. All right, well, it's been a lot of fun meeting you in real life. Man. Thank you very much. I hope everything goes all good for you.
Thanks.
For the rest of the year and everything. I hope you continue to be awesome at casting. And that's it, guys. C4 Born signing out with
DOA. Thanks for watching.
All right, see you guys next time. Dalton.